It's 9:30. We'll call this meeting to order. So today is June 25th. Happy June 25th to everyone that's here. We Let's go ahead and start with introductions. My name's Aaron Sombrero. I'm the Director of Transportation at Silver Key Senior Services and the second chair, and I'll be heading the meeting today. We'll go ahead and move. We'll start top to bottom. I think Melissa, you're the first person up there because you're sharing your camera, which I'm going to do now.
Okay. So I'm Melissa. I'm with the Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging. And we'll be helping Aaron along as he needs help. But so far, so good. And it looks like we have a quorum easily, Aaron. And I'll turn it over to Laura next.
Awesome.
Good morning, all. Laura Cruz. I am here in Tennessee. So happy to see you guys.
And Laura, do you want to send it to somebody else? You just kind of keep popcorning it around?
Yes, let's go to Ronnie.
Cool? Okay. Hopefully. Did Ronnie get a cup of coffee?
Ronnie, can you unmute?
Hey, Ronnie is out looking at our new vehicle that we got on Friday. This is Kathy Lowry. I am here, and I will cover for Ronnie until she gets back in from fixing the door handle on the new vehicle.
Oh, no. All right, Paul.
My name is Paul. I'm with the Independence Center.
Mark.
Hey, this is Mark. I'm with Valley Senior Center.
Emily.
Everything over there. Does he run everything?
This is Emily Coverdius with the City of Fountain Transit.
Jacob. Jacob, you're muted. We cannot hear you if you're talking. All right, I think that's everyone. Aaron?
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have 4 voting members. We've established a quorum. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
Bueller, come on, Mark. Mark, Kathy.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Perfect.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Perfect.
All right. And has everyone had a chance to look at the meetings from the minutes from last month's meeting? Can I get a second to approve those minutes?
Well, actually, Aaron, we have to vote on the agenda approval, and then
Okay.
we have to have a first and a second for the minutes approval.
Okay, so let's move. My bad. First time. I'm going to make some mistakes. So let's go ahead and vote on approving the agenda. Can everybody that's for approving the agenda say aye? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? All right, that motion passes. Okay, Aaron, now you can flip to the minutes approval.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting?
Hi, this is Ronnie with Teller Senior Coalition Transportation. I make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Right, thank you. And we get a second.
I'll second.
All right. And all those in favor of approving the minutes from last month's meeting, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That passes. All right.
And Aaron, I want to jump in. We had a tea garden come on, and I'm wondering if Kevin will introduce himself.
Hello, this is Kevin Teagarden. I'm assuming everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yes. I recently started as a senior transit planner. I'm on Jacob Matson's team here with the city.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Laura, Melissa, at this point, should I pass it on to you to work through the agenda items?
Jared, do you want to handle the public comment portion?
I'll be happy to. So I'll ask anyone who's online who is not a member of the Mobility Coordinating Committee and would like to provide public comment to please use the raise hand function. While we're allowing anyone to look for that, I just want to let everyone know that we did not receive any advance requests for public comment. We did not receive any written public comment that would have been submitted to the committee members in advance of this meeting. And as I've said all that, I do not see any hands raised. So I think we can move forward from public comment at everyone's discretion.
Can I add one quick note? We have Jacob Matson. He's calling in on the phone. I believe he needs to be let into the meeting.
If he's calling, he's not showing up on the administrative side. So I'm not seeing anybody to let in.
Okay, we'll try again. Thank you.
All right, Aaron, we're moving on to action items. And basically we can skip down from 5 to 8 because we don't have any membership appointments. I will say to this group that we are still looking for a second vice chair. So as people are getting settled in, it'd be great if somebody would step into that role. I would, if we were in a room in person, I would probably squirt somebody with a water gun to get started. So to jump into that role. So we can skip down to number 8.
So Laura, is the specialized transit plan going to be you?
I can, and if Jacob can step in too, or I know that Kevin, you are brand spanking new, so I have no expectations for you to pop in and talk, but I can talk a little bit about the specialized transit plan and and where we are in the process. So we received, I believe yesterday, a draft of the specialized transit plan from our consultant team. And Jacob and I will be reviewing that draft over the next few days. We will, the draft of the plan will ultimately go through committees, and there will definitely be a public comment period on that, on the final draft of the plan that we will be submitting to the committees. So I'll keep you guys updated on where we are in the process, and also let you know kind of when you can have a sneak peek of that plan, as we're working on finalizing it with our consultant team. They're also working on the regional transit plan and working to wrap up the final draft for the regional transit plan. It's going to be, I believe, a few more weeks for us to receive that that draft document. But we'll keep you guys updated on where we are with that.
Jacob, did you have anything to add to that report?
I don't know that he's been able to join yet. I'm going to have him join here in my office. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties. But one moment here.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, one moment. We're getting this set up here so that Jacob couldn't provide some input.
And while we're waiting to get that rolling, I just want to add a comment. This is a little kind of off subject in some ways, but I just wanted to bring it up and give some kudos to some folks. And it does kind of apply to our specialized transit work in our community. So I'm on the board of a elder shelter program here in Colorado Springs, and we had a gentleman who moved in, about 3 weeks ago or so. He's an older man and he cannot read or write. And he doesn't drive, of course. And he's, anyway, he's a sweet, wonderful fella. But anyway, I referred him over to Silver Key, Aaron, and I'm happy to let people know that the Silver Key case management team sent folks to the house to actually meet with him and get him, kind of services and supports he needs, and also transportation. And he has already been transported. He lives, the home Vibrance is in a gated community, and I wasn't sure, how that was going to work. And it's a condo community, and it's really hard to get any kind of vehicle up to where the actual house is. And anyway, it all went without a hitch. Everything went great. The Silver Key vehicle drove in, got through the gate, went into the little cul-de-sac, met this gentleman who cannot read or write, which means that if he gets messages on text, he can't read it. But anyway, it all went without a hitch, and he's been over to Silver Key at least once to get food, and is working on getting over there to have meals as well, and also take advantage of the computer lab. So just really grateful that the transportation piece just went great. And also that, Silver Key's case management folks got over there, met him in person, to kind of get him supports and services that he needed. So thanks. And after I shared that, maybe Jacob is ready to go, or Aaron, if you want to make a comment about the
Yeah,
transportation
thanks,
that you
Melissa.
guys
It's awesome
provided.
to hear. Yeah, it's awesome to hear comments like that. That makes my day. So I'm glad it's working out for him.
Yep.
It says AAA issued crowbars. It gets us in, just to put it out there. Joke. It's a joke.
I didn't know that. I'll ignore that. All right.
Okay, can you hear us?
Yes, you're kind of quiet, but we can hear you.
Okay. The laptop a little closer. Sorry about that, everybody. My computer microphone has been on the fritz, and then I tried to call into the meeting, and apparently it's not coming through. So anyways, ironically, I got a new computer yesterday. I just haven't got it set up yet. So specialized transit plan update. I know, Laura, I heard you as I was leaving my office to come over here to Kevin's office, giving some updates on it. Is there anything specific that you're looking from me? Anything for the update? I know you mentioned we're in the review process, and you mentioned a public comment period on the final plan. I did hear all that. We're reviewing that plan. I know we've asked for a due date from our consultant, at least I have. We're looking to get that. Here at Transit, we'll send that around to a few people that have had some work with the specialized plan. So we'll have a few people here reviewing that as well. And we also, not exclusive to that, but also along with our regional transit plan, we do have the public involvement piece that also we're we're reviewing as well. That's kind of more in the weeds, I guess, but we'll be reviewing that to make sure that all adds up. And that's basically just a kind of a synopsis or a summary of the efforts that we've done since going back into the late last fall of what we've done for outreach and to get the right people at the table and to get the input on these plans. So that plan is slowly working its way. Well, slowly is the wrong word. It's working its way towards completion, and I think we're still looking towards the end of summer, hopefully having that final draft. So I don't know if I missed anything, Laura, or if I covered everything you were thinking. Cool.
And thanks for pinging yesterday. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I need a date.
Yeah, because I need to send out this. Same way here. I need to send out to my people to say, here's your due date, and then I need time to review their comments before I send it along back. Not that I'm taking away people's comments for the most part, just making sure it's in line with everything we've talked about, because you'd hate a comment to go back that contradicts our conversation. So that's the idea there. So cool. And then on the regional transit plan, I don't see that on here, but I'll throw it out there. We're kind of in a similar process. That one's a few weeks behind the specialized, just in general. So it's a larger scale plan. And we have our meeting. I can't remember if it's tomorrow or Thursday, Laura. We have our weekly meeting, but we should have more information then. But we were anticipating getting the regional transit plan, the first draft, probably it was approximately 2 or so weeks after the specialized. So I would imagine the next week or two we will have that. Hopefully not at the same time, because reviewing both of those is that's a lot of work to review. So we should be seeing that one as well too. So with that, I'll take any questions.
So Jacob, once the plan released, I'm sure we'll get a digital copy. We'll be able to review it. Are we planning on meeting directly or at some point in the future to start to collaborate to enact the plan? Is that what the future holds for us?
So for the specialized, I'll defer to Laura on what her plans are. I mean, I'm the project manager on paper for it, but she's really the one leading the effort. So Laura?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And once the plan is finalized, we'll be working and convening providers to basically unpack the plan and then work on operational plans, which operational plans just basically dictate how are we going to meet these goals and objectives, and how are we going to fulfill what we've included in the plan based upon public input, in terms of a timeline. And so just a reminder, these plans are long range plans. While we update them every 5 years, they are, 25-year plans? Is that correct? Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
They're 25-year plans. So, one of the things that we've talked about just in general within our project management group is what is the low hanging fruit that we could work on initially. And so that's a great question, Aaron. Once we get everything finalized, we'll start meeting pretty regularly about how we can tackle some of those initiatives.
All right, thank you.
Yep. And then with the regional transit plan, it's following kind of a similar thing. I've already had a conversation with the consultant of, hey, what is that low hanging fruit? What are those easy wins that are going to get the most bang for our buck, impact the community in the most positive way with the least amount of resources needed to do it? And so we're already having those conversations and looking to enact those as soon as we are able to, whether it be, funding availability or driver or vehicle availability. So we're looking into those things as well. And as kind of reiterate what Laura said, we have looked for, what are those actionable things we can do with these plans? I know Laura's been really, really good on that when it comes specific to the specialized plan. Like what can we do here? What's a short-term thing? What's a long-term? How should we go about doing this? So she's definitely been keeping up on that, and we're definitely applying a lot of those principles over to the regional transit plan as well.
All right, Laura, do you think we beat up A? Should we move on to B?
To B, I was not a part of the planning meeting for this meeting, so help me out, guys, as to what B is talking about.
Aaron, do you want me to jump in and talk about that a little bit more, or do you want to give it a shot?
Please, Melissa, if you got it, please.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yeah. So, Deanna is the one who kind of mentioned this and brought it up. And she commented about the fact that we have we have an acting planning and development director with the city of Colorado Springs, kind of stepping into that role, potentially temporarily or permanent. And she had brought up, I think more maybe the conversation is a little bit if Jacob and Kevin are able to comment or share, kind of how your department interfaces. I guess you're part of the planning and development. I don't even know actually. And so I think Deanna doesn't know either, and maybe nobody else knows. Maybe, to ask Jacob and Kevin to kind of share. Because you actually, yeah, I just don't even know you guys. And so where Deanna was going with it was, hey, what does it look like to share the regional transit and the specialized transit plan with this new department head that will eventually be with the city of Colorado Springs? So so jump in, guys. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. So I got you. So transit's kind of its own separate division. Not kind of we're kind of our own. We're under public works, so we do not fall under planning. So we don't the structure here. We don't report to the Colorado Springs Planning and Development, nor do I as the planning supervisor. I'm specific to transit, and I fall under public works. That being said, we do have conversations with planning and development. I've had a number of them already in the last day. We've had a series of projects we're looking at. So we do partner on stuff. But yeah, we don't particularly, we don't fall under them. We work alongside each other. And in terms of those plans, I mean, it's relatively, it's a very, very new, very new person in there right now. And not really certain if this group would really be the better group specific to the transit, specialized perhaps, in terms of what that looks like for the planning process. But I know we do have connections there with the planning and development on that. I don't know if I'm not certain if this group would be the better group to go to them or not to have the conversation. I don't know, Laura, your thoughts, particularly specialized?
Yeah. So, Jacob, who is she talking about in terms of people?
I have to admit I was on vacation until last week, so I am out of the loop. I know that our former director with the city here resigned, I think right before I went on vacation. And so I'm not even certain who was appointed, to be honest. And I feel bad about that because I should know that, but I do not know who was appointed off the top of my head. I can check my emails to see if I have something.
Yeah, I think one thing to know is that during the so we had our focus groups, we had our community advisory groups, which most of these folks that are on the call, you guys on the call, were a part of, but also we had a internal city PPACG consultant project team that we have for both the specialized and regional transit plan. And folks that were at the table are planners from different departments within the city. So, if you think about Todd Frisbee, who's over traffic engineering, those types of folks have been at the table for these conversations because we do understand how they intertwine with each other. Jacob, did I speak to that in a wrong way? I think I alluded to how the planning process is approached.
I apologize. I was just trying to looking for the name of the person. It is Kevin Walker. Is the interim. But anyway, sorry, Laura. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying that during the planning process so far, we've had most of the city planners from different departments that are associated, have kind of an association with the transit plan and helping pave some of the pathway for us to be successful in these things. They have been at the table.
They have
So,
been, yes. And even beyond the 2050 planning process, there's been conversations. I'm thinking specifically about one in the Southeast and a ton of different planning efforts that are underway that we've been in contact with city plan to see what their plans are along with ours and see kind of where we cross and where we can help each other out in that. And then, yeah, especially looking back to our the first open house that we did about, I'd say, we had, was it 46 people, I think is what came out of that one. And I'd say just eyeballing it, about a third of them were city staff. If I just had to eyeball it, and that was a mix of people from public works and planning. So it definitely has reached that wider audience, and we're in conversations with them.
Yep.
I think even more so in the last year or so than we previously been. I know I've seen a lot of emails coming from that way, and that's what I'm trying to give off to Kevin over here to look into some of the stuff. So
I think that probably covers it in terms of the different folks that are sitting at the table and participating in the conversations, and just knowing that Kevin Walker is coming in at the kind of somewhat tail end of the whole piece, and he might not be the permanent person in the role. So just something for everybody to just kind of keep an eye on, I think, and see opportunities to keep the momentum going with the ideas that are getting generated and put down on paper. So I think that was the kind of intent there in the conversations that we were having.
I think you nailed it, Melissa. And thanks, Jacob. So moving on to C, TRE on Medicaid transit changes. So as I understood this, our pre-meeting, coordinating meeting, we were trying to get somebody from TRE to the table to explain these changes that are coming about in July. So this will affect some specialized transportation, even some regional transportation organizations that receive TRE funding. I don't believe we were successful in getting some from TRE to attend this meeting. Melissa, were you able to find anything potentially that crossed your desk on what these changes might be?
I have something to pop in on with this. And Kathy, feel free to speak up too, because I know that you guys are an EMT provider in particular. So, Cass, I forwarded a email out to the MCC group yesterday. CASTA is putting on a NEMT credentialing webinar. And that is this Tuesday. Well, it's today from 12 to 1. So I would suggest you guys that are interested in understanding some of these changes. This is just an opportunity to probably ask questions that you may have around some of the changes. So there is something that is scheduled for today. Kathy, do you have anything to add?
Well, I mean, I think the whole process with Medicaid non-emergency transportation is Medicaid is asking all the transit providers to go through this credentialing process, which means that you need to provide a lot of information into a database about your drivers and vehicles, like, driver's license and motor vehicle records and drug tests and blah, blah, blah. And then another part of it is having all of your vehicles inspected, which we're battling to get an inspection site in the Springs, so we don't have to take all of our vehicles up to Denver. So it's kind of a huge thing. And they're looking for all these providers to be through this process by the end of September. There's some confusion that the vehicles were all supposed to be inspected by the end of June, which gives us like 4 days. So it's a big work set, and I think the other thing is there's a lot of confusion with the communications and exactly what needs to be done. So that's part of what the call at 12 hopefully will clear up some of the confusion regarding the process and what everyone needs to do. Hopefully everyone knows that Medicaid had increased their reimbursement rates for transportation back in July of 23. And so a lot of transit agencies all of a sudden jumped into providing this transportation. And so I think it created a lot of issues that I would give Medicaid credit for doing this credentialing, because they're going to weed out some of these fly-by-night transit providers that aren't really, you know, doing their best to make sure all their drivers are good, you know, in good shape to provide that service. So, but it's, you know, it's going to be a lot of work. So that's kind of what I know.
Thanks for the update. I knew you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna try to hop on that call today because I have a question around agencies that receive funding from CDOT. A lot of this information is already being gathered by the state through, and you know this, Kathy, because you're recipients of 5311 funding. So it's kind of duplicative for those agencies that are already receiving federal funds for transportation.
Yeah, like one of the issues is we're going to probably have to have all of our drivers do a second drug test to meet the drug test that they are looking for. So, I mean, that's going to be an added expense, but I don't think there's a way around it. So those sorts of things, yes, there's those kinds of issues.
All right. Well, thank you, Kathy. I think we'll move into the social gathering. Melissa, did you have anything on the social gathering?
We just need to send out a doodle poll to everybody and try to start to gather, you know, 1 or 2 dates that people would be interested in getting together and potentially where. You know, maybe everybody has to go to the Cristola Roadhouse so we can meet halfway between Woodland Park and Colorado Springs. Anyway, who knows? Just stay tuned for that doodle poll to come out at some point.
Thought about that sometime today, just
Okay.
so I have the timing right for when we're shooting for.
Yep. All right.
All right. Are there any items that could be recommended for our next meeting? Kathy, did you have something?
Nope.
All right. So going once, going twice.
And Aaron,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just jump in. If anybody wants to give updates from their organizations, we can also do that before we call the meeting to close.
Very cool. So any items for the next meeting? Going once, going twice? We'll move on to updates, and I'll lead, and Mark might be able to add to this. So so we just implemented EcoLane software. We changed from Route Match to EcoLane on April 9th was our implementation date. And last month we were down 3 drivers, and we still did 380 more rides than we had ever done in Silver Key's history, going back probably 25 years of transportation. So it is very efficient. It will efficiently route the passengers, put them in the correct sequence to get off the bus. The only complaint I think that we're starting to see is when you're going home, you might be on the bus, because if there's 4 people for a little while, if there's 4 people on the bus and you're the last to get off and you were the first to be picked up, just because you might live the furthest distance away from your pickup point, you're going to be on the bus for a little bit. But probably still better than riding and having to change and transfer multiple times. So I do give kudos to the EcoLane system. I think that for efficiency, it's making things happen, and which is also leading to less capacity denials, at least for Silver Key.
I'll just, I'll chime in on that. Our drivers are, kind of having to adjust to that whole thing, and only adjustment, and but it's working out a lot more efficiently, and the seniors get to ride a little bit more, but they also get to talk a little bit more to other seniors. So that's kind of a benefit instead of them just riding by themselves. So yeah, it was a good move, and we're glad we did that also. So I do have one question, and it's not an update for here, but Laura or Melissa, do you guys have any update on I know this is a can of worms, but do you guys have any updates on state budgets and anything like that? Or is that for somebody else to address?
I do not know anything. Melissa, do you know if we've received our option letter from the state? I don't think we have.
I think Jody would have told us, and we just had a meeting this morning and he didn't mention it. So I think it's still in process. Thanks for asking though, Mark.
Okay, thanks.
This is Jacob with Mountain Metro Transit. Just want to let everyone know we're kicking off our free fare for better air for the summer here. We'll be doing a free fare in July and August. Yeah, woo woo, right? Except when it comes to the paperwork, right, Laura? I don't know if you've seen that, but there was a lot of reporting for it. But yeah, we're doing a free fare. It'll be both on our fixed route and our paratransit services, and that'll be for July and August this year. So we're happy to do that again. We're starting to get the word out, and here in another week or so, it'll be free for all.
Emily, do you want to speak up next? Because I think you guys are participating too.
Sorry, I had someone in my office, but yes, we are doing free fares as well for the same time frame. So we are preparing for that all inside, getting all of the posters and information out to the public, and we're really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
So any other updates for the group?
I heard Kathy has a new vehicle that apparently the handle broke.
Yes, brand new wheelchair accessible transit arrived on Friday.
Awesome.
And they're working on it right now as we speak because there's a few little issues. But we'll get it ready to go.
Are you going to tell us the make model of that vehicle?
Ford 23 Ford Transit. That's all I know.
Okay.
But it looks great. Looks great.
Perfect. Paul, do you have any updates from the IC?
Not really. We are having that festival in July 26th from 10 to 2. We just got a bunch of stuff going on here on that day. That's the ADA festival that we carry. That's like our 3rd year now, I think it is. So be more than welcome if anybody wants to show up and check it out.
Well, we asked, I can't remember who I emailed, but I asked if PPACG or the AAA could come and set up a booth for that. I never heard back. So if you have a contact you can send me, that would be great.
Can I just tell you her name real quick?
Yes.
Scotty Bibb, marketing.
Dottie?
Scotty, SCOTTIE. Bibb, BIB. B, I think 2 B's maybe.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
And then I guess one more update. You've already met Kevin here at T-Garden. He is the new senior transit planner with Mountain Metro Transit. For those of you who have heard me talk over the last few months, I'm very excited to now have another planner here on staff. I've been the solo formal planner. I say it because there are others that do help with planning efforts, but the solo planner for at least the last 9 months or so. So I'm very happy to have Kevin, and he'll be becoming a more common face around this committee here. So,
can we see his face? Kevin, can we see your face?
Possibly our camera and audio right now is all over the place. Trying to, so I don't even know which one.
I think it'll come from your computer. Try the camera up here. Try to
Not to call you out.
Definitely the next meeting for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Next meeting we'll do that. Yeah. Right now it's all over the place with these cameras.
Perfect.
All
All
right.
right,
nice to meet
Aaron, I
every-
think
nice to
that's
meet you.
everybody.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for attending. When is our next meeting? The 30th of July?
Give me just a second. It is, yes, the 30th.
All right. Well, we'll just plan on seeing everybody back on the 30th of July. And thanks so much for attending and have a great month.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.